welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. Today's walk is in the stunning and remote Torridon mountains and is probably on most walkers' bucket list. Beinn Eighe has two Munro tops, Ruadh-stac Mòr and Spidean Coire and Clach. The start of the walk is 1 hour and 20 minutes drive from Inverness and around 4 hours and 10 minutes from Glasgow. As always, I've included links to the route on the OS Maps website and to the parking car parks on Google Maps. There are two car parks, both are free, and the closest public toilet is in Loch Coire, about 10 minutes drive away. The total distance for today's walk is 18.5 kilometres with around 1251 metres of ascent, and it is expected to take around 7 hours to walk. As I mentioned, there are two car parks, both at the side of the A896 between Torridon and Loch Coire. And for this route it does not matter which car park you park in, as you'll walk past both during the walk. I chose to start at the northern car park. You can also walk this route in an anti-clockwise direction, ascending Spidean Coire and Clach first and then heading along the ridge to Ruadh-stac Mòr, or you can go in a clockwise direction as I did. So starting at the car park, you're going to head west along the A896 and you're walking along the side of the road, and it's a single track road, and you continue to walk along that and you'll easily recognise where you're going to turn off. And I'll just show the satellite image for a moment, and it's at this point where the second car park is. So you turn off right at the entrance to that car park and then you'll follow a very well made path that goes up into the mountains, and this path goes up between Liathach and Beinn Eighe, and this path on its own is a really nice walk. You're going into some really remote countryside and the scenery is just amazing. So you follow this path, it's very clear, very well laid out. You'll come to a cairn and the path splits at this point here, and you want to take the right hand side, so you're going to continue to go around the right hand shoulder on Beinn Eighe. It does climb gradually, but it's not steep, it's just a continual climb all the way up and around until you get to the back just before this loch, and then it does get a little bit steeper. But it is a good path, there's lots of good steps all the way up until you get to the side of the loch. You will have to cross over the stream that comes out the end of the loch at this point and follow that path, and it goes round the side of the loch, and you're going to go all the way round until you get to this point here. You'll see the little stream come off at this right directly in front of you, and another stream here, and at that point you're going to turn following the path, but you're turning to your left. There are some other paths that cut across various routes up in this area, but I found it easy just to keep following the path all the way up to here, and I'll show that in the video. From here you're going to work your way up through, there's boulders and different, it gets steeper as you're going up here, you're just working your way up through this. But the paths are quite clear. Like I say, there's a couple of variations, but they all end up pretty much in the same place. You'll see when you get up to this point that there are two paths. There's one to the left and one goes more direct. This one looks like it's got a lot of scree on it, and so I chose to keep to the left and go out wider to the left as you're coming up here, and you'll see that in the video as well. It's quite a rocky patch you're crossing here, but it does make it easier to walk up on top of the rocks, and then you get up here and come round. Now you're going up the edge, and it doesn't show it at all well in the map, but you're going up the edge of like a gully, and there's a bit of a wall here of rock. If you keep close to the wall of the rock on your left hand side, you can kind of scramble up the edge of that. It's very simple, easy scrambling, and it keeps you off the scree, which is the main sort of chute of this area here. When you come up, it's a very narrow Beinn at the top here, and you're going to turn to the left. And then from there you follow the path. Again, it's quite easy to navigate and follow, and there's nothing challenging as you're going across this terrain. And you'll follow that all the way up to the summit of Ruadh-stac Mòr. Then from the summit, you retrace your steps back to that Beinn, and then you're going to go up this section here, and it gets quite steep, and it's a lot rockier than it appears on this map. You'll see there is quite a clear path. I kept to my right, so kept to this side of the centre of the ridge, and it was, again, there's a little bit of scrambling here, but it's not difficult, it's not exposed. if you were to go on the left side, that looked a little bit trickier, so I would keep to the right. Once you get up a bit, it becomes a sort of grassy slope, and you very quickly come to the top where there's a cairn. It might be possible just to cut round the corner here, but it's easy to follow the path up to the top. From there, you're going to head down, and then again the path gets a bit vague as you're going across here, but you just want to head down, and you're keeping to the top of this ridge line, and the path will get more clear. I think it gets more clear around about here as you go along. There are some bits where the drop on your left hand side is quite steep, but you don't need to go too close to the edge. You can just follow this path all the way along, and then you keep going along that path. Goes up a little bit, drops off a little bit here, and then starts to pick up. Gets fairly steep going up here, and you'll see there's a cairn at the top of here, and this is where the other path from the car park, it's where it joins up onto the ridge. You'll follow from here, keep going along. There is a bit, I think it's right about here. It looks quite tricky. I think it would be easier just to scramble straight up the face of the rock here. But there is a path that goes round to the right hand side, and if you take care, it's an easy scramble. You pretty much walk round, but you will be holding onto the rock because it's a bit of a funny angle. You'll be going round there, then you double back, and that takes you up onto the ridge. And if you keep to the left, you can actually avoid, there's a little bit of scramble here, but you can avoid it if you just keep a little bit to the left. It's more obvious when you're returning. I think I went up the little scramble bit, and then on the way back I went round to the left. Again, from this summit, the summit of Spidean Coire and Clach, you then just follow your steps back down to that cairn, and then you head down this ridge here, and this bit's okay. It's a bit steep, but it's when you turn off, there is a cairn right about here. When you turn off here, the path is really quite poor. You can see it splits, but it's very steep, and it's very loose mud and scree. It's just not very nice at all, and I probably complained a little bit too much. I'm not entirely sure if it would be easier to ascend up this path, because the path at the other side that you'll have taken if you go the same way I did is a really good path all the way up to the first summit. There's no challenges on that side, so it might be easier to descend that path. But anyway, we follow the path down. It's very clear. It gets easier once it flattens off and the quality of the path gets better, and you just continue to follow that path down, a few different zigzags, and it just eventually makes its way all the way back down to the car park at the other end. I'll show that quickly in the satellite as well. So you can see the car park's actually a little bit off the road at this end, so you turn down here to that car park. Good morning, I'm at the northernmost car park for this walk. It's 8:30 in the morning, it's a bit cloudy and it's a bit windy. So I'm going to do the long walk around the mountain and go up and do the back Munro first. That way, as always, I prefer to have the wind in my face at low ground, have it on my back on the ridge if possible. It's quite a long walk today. You can see the second car park, a few more cars than that one over there. And on the side of the hillside, I can make out the path that I'm going to go up. It takes you up and around the back of Beinn Eighe there. It's taken 25 minutes to walk to the other car park. It's just 10 to 9 on a Saturday morning. There's still plenty of spaces. It is near the end of May. You can park all the way along this side here as well. It's wide enough that you can have cars on both sides. So we get to this point and we're going to take the footpath, can't pronounce that, and we'll follow this path here for a while. Get the wind in our back for a little bit. It's lovely over there. Supposedly it'll brighten up a little bit around about lunchtime, 12 o'clock, so we'll see if that pans out. Nice and peaceful here. I'm pretty sure the path, once it gets over there, levels off. If anything, goes down a little bit as it goes round. Somebody's catching up to me. Still cloudy at the higher levels. This is a really nice path and a really nice walk. There was a bit to come up there of an uphill climb, but there are big steps and it's much easier than going up a poor path or a boggy section. Then you get round here and you've just got lovely mountains. And when you get right round, straight ahead and round to the right, there's a loch in with some fantastic cliffs on the opposite side. It would be a nice spot just to go for a walk and have a picnic and enjoy a day without actually climbing any Munros. Almost an hour and a half into the walk and we're coming close to where we go around the bend. It does seem to go on a bit, this path. I always remember I've done this route once in the opposite direction and it did seem to take forever to get out. But I think overall it should be easier this way because you're not going up as much scree. I'm fairly certain there is a section of scree round the corner once you're going by the lock-in. But once you get up after that, there's not much more uphill scree. Whereas if you start from the car park, I think it's all quite loose on the way up. And somewhere up there, there's a grade 2 scramble route. I never looked into it well enough to figure out where the actual route was. You'll see this big flat cairn. This is where the path splits. And for the Munro walkers, and if you just want to go and see that nice lock-in, we're going to the right. If you you like atmospheric, cloudy mountains, I'm going to get a few of them today. See the way the clouds are just falling down off the edge of that mountain. And it's clearing up at the top. Glorious views up here. Still got a bit to go around this mountain until I see the loch and then the actual Munro. Seems longer than I remember it. But when the views are this good, what does it matter? Liathach in the distance. And the sun's come out. Brightened up for the waterfalls. In the middle of nowhere, beautiful waterfall, blue skies, and an incredible set of steps to take you up to the loch. Reach the Loch-in, you must cross the river that leaves the Loch-in at this point. Cross over just here, and then the path goes round the other side. And we go up that corner over there, just where the blue sky is and the cloud is rolling into. And the second top is up there. It is a stunning place here. I don't know if it'd be good to go swimming in there, it's probably freezing. this point I'm at 585 metres in altitude and the summit is 985 metres, so 400 metres to go, so we're more than halfway. But unfortunately the cloud is really rolling in. There should be signs of a path. I can see it from here up in the corner there that takes you up, so it shouldn't be too difficult to navigate even in cloud. And even once you're on the ridge, it's not, I don't think it'll be that bad. Just stop to have something to eat. I can sit down behind this rock and get out of the wind. Once you go round the side of the loch in, it's a bit breezy. But you can watch the clouds just go sailing by. Even starting to rain a little bit. And then you can see under the cloud for quite some distance. Safely across the water. Now just going to go round, and I think it goes up that red bit that you can see. So I think it gets fairly steep up there, but I've come down that in the snow with crampons on. And if you don't like that bit, you can go up a bit more to the left. That slope isn't too bad, not too steep. It's a bit windier than I thought it would be in here, but you can see the cloud comes over the edge there and falling down, so it's cold air, so it's coming over and down and through. It's quite a spectacular place. Continue working your way along the side of the loch and you should be able to see the path there. And then when it gets to about there, it's going to go up to the left. And that's just below these humongous cliffs that tower over above. Just incredible. There are a few different trails that go up the same sort of direction. I've passed a couple of faint paths going off to the left and I can see one there, but when I check the GPS and the map, the main path goes along here, so you get to the side of this little stream, and then when the stream splits there, we're going to the left and we just follow, there's a path that goes up there, so we'll just follow that. The lock-in is just back there. So you'll see a good stream coming into the lock-in at this end. You want to be walking right alongside that and then go left. So at this point, I'm going to go straight on a little bit and then go to the left. I'll zoom in. You can see there's a faint path that goes around the edge there, and then there is a path that goes up the scree right in the centre frame, and then from there you go right along to the right and then it joins that red scree further up, and from there you just make your way up. There are a couple of cairns as you peel off to the left. This is just looking back the way. And from that cairn, you've got to make your way across this boulder field. You'll see the loose scree starting just there in the centre of frame. And from there you just make your way up to the green patch and then go all the way up to the right. And it's probably easier just to stay to one side and go up the rocks rather than the actual small gravel stuff. But you can use that to guide you as to where to go. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It's quite steep, but a few big steps and you get up quite quickly. There we got this little track in the tops. The Beinn Eighe is just there. And then we double back and go up the main ridge right behind us. Almost there. I've been keeping tight to the left. You have to use your hands very slightly, but it's just very gentle scrambling. Just easier than going in that very loose scree. But the view from here, that makes it all worthwhile. So I came up that left, well, the right trail you can see going down the way, rather than the one in the middle. Just continue up here. If you don't like using your hands, you can just go more up the middle, but I'm going to go just round and up the left hand side. Just come up the top of that gully to a full-on rainstorm. Pretty much got soaked before I could get the waterproofs on. So the Beinn Eighe at this point is extremely narrow. Coming up there on the left, the right as you look down, was good. No slips, no loose scree to worry about. The top's cleared again. So from here, it's an easy walk along this ridge to the summit, which you can see just there. Then you return back to this point, and then you go up that side. Once you get to the highest point up there, you go left, follow the ridge, and it takes you to the second Munro. So I'm pretty sure that's the second top over there, in the clear, with all the cloud in between. So there's a little bit of a climb up to that bit in the middle, then you go down and along. And once you get to that top, you just go straight over and down the other side. But it's clear right now, so I'm going to head on to the top of this first Munro. Made it to the first summit of the day on Beinn Eighe. The wind's calmed down, still raining. The views are amazing. A little bit cloudy that way we're going to go. Just the way they roll over the mountain there. So straight ahead out there is the Atlantic Ocean. I just checked the map. Loch Coire, Liathach and the Fisherfield 6. And the wind's picking up again. So we're going to be walking into the cloud, into the wind. And then, like I say, making a left and going up to the next top. I'm back at the Beinn Eighe, back in that rain cloud, and now I'm just going to keep going straight ahead this time and up to the next cairn. In this section there's nothing difficult. It looks quite narrow on the map, but it's easy enough to go up and come down, so I'll just make my way up. So you very quickly get to this little cairn at the top after the Beinn Eighe. It's not difficult, and then we go left, and the path is very clear, so there's not much to see just now. I've come to the lowest point between that peak we're on back there, so the Beinn Eighe between here and the summit up there, and then the path off, it drops off to the right before the summit, but it's not from the Beinn Eighe here, it's a wee bit further on. Opened up there for a moment, but the cloud's coming back in. Hopefully it's clear in the top. That whole ridge you walked along is just now cleared up. First summit over there. Second summit's in the cloud. So the exit path is where that person's going up that steep slope. It goes to there's the summit, the second Munros I. Beinn Eighe. I think there's a little bit of scrambling to get to the very top, if I remember correctly. And that was the first Munros of the day. just getting a rest out of the wind, and right below the summit, it's 9 metres higher than where I'm sitting, just over there. Also hoping to get a clear view of it. The cloud blows in and out, so I'll have a wee rest. So just below the summit, it looks like the path goes a wee bit to the right and round. I probably just went straight up the last time, but I'll follow the scree and see how that is. Second summit, Beinn Eighe. Just come off the top to get out of the wind. When the cloud clears, the views are spectacular. But it comes and goes. As you can see. Going to have another bite to eat, a little snack. Try to get out of the wind, slightly less windy. Like I say, the views come and go. When the cloud clears, it's brilliant, and when it's not, yeah, it's not too bad. It's taken 5 hours and 45 minutes to get to here. Now we're just going to get back down to the car park. Cloudy and then clearing up a little bit. This is actually the best it's been since I've sat here. It's very cold. So I'm going to head back down to the car park and then cycle back to Loch Coire. From the top, retrace your steps back to the little summit that was before that, and then we'll go down to the left and try and get out of this wind. I'm just going back down the left hand side, which was the right hand side on the way up. Just be careful not to go too far down there. You just got to go down a little bit and then across there. So you want to go down that bit there. If you don't mind scrambling, I'm sure it's easier just to go straight up there. So there's the trig point. There's even a little cairn to mark the down path. Still can't see the summit. It's clearing up very slightly. It's about a 3 kilometre walk all downhill back to the car park. So the big cairn indicates that we want to go left and follow the path down there. So nice to get out of the wind, and I'm really glad I didn't come up this way, because this path, it's horrible. Muddy, sandy, scree. A lot easier to go down than to go up, I'm sure. So my recommendation is to do it in the clockwise direction and don't come up here. Just getting below the cloud as well. So much nicer out the wind. Can't believe how different it is now. You wouldn't believe it was the same day. Still got a fair amount of this horrible bit to go down. Hopefully it gets better once we're off this slope. Really chews your feet up. You can't put them flat, they're always at an angle leaning forward. Your toes get scrunched up. So once I got down that really steep section, it was horrible. The path has got better. It's not the best path in the world, but it's perfectly usable. Just look at that ridge. Now I'm not sure what it's like from here down. We've still got a bit to go. That's some nice views on the way down. I can see the car park from here. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's certainly been a day out. And I look forward to showing you more videos in the next one. That's me back at the car park. I honestly can't say, I mean that path wasn't too bad most of the way, just that bit at the top was really bad. Would it be easier just to suffer that and go round in an anti-clockwise direction and come back out on the nicer path? I'll let you decide. Bye for now.